Welcome to the first episode of Learn to Code. This is Bob Cumulus. Our first question we all have on our mind is, what is programming? I'm going to take you through the basics till we later start to know what the whole thing is all about. The first question is, what at all is programming? Now, computer programming is a process that professionals use to write code that instructs how a computer application or software program performs. So how does this happen? How is a person able to communicate to the computer? Well, this happens through the use of programming languages. But before we even go further, just like how humans communicate with each other, computer also understands languages of that sort. So we'll get there as we proceed. The programming languages are used in computer programming to implement algorithms. Now, a new keyword pops up. What is an algorithm? This is an algorithm. Now, from the screen, we can see a cookbook. And those who are into cooking will get me that a cookbook tells us how a particular meal is prepared. So, this is a recipe, okay? This is a book that contains 350 recipes from the regions of India. And they are teaching you how a particular meal is prepared. And in this book, we have 350 types of meals. So an algorithm has to do with the step-by-step procedures that you use to solve a problem. So that's the definition there. So an algorithm is just like a recipe. In order to solve a problem, you need to follow an algorithm. That's a step-by-step procedure. In that case, if an algorithm is a set of instructions, how do programming languages come in? Alright, now in this session we are going to have an overview of how the whole programming we've heard of is all about. The main thing we are going to be learning about is called control structures, and this is where we are going to be ending this session of the whole introduction. But before that, I'll give an introduction of this particular topic, which is called control structures. Now, dealing with algorithms, it is control structures that has the main talk. Okay, so I'm going to break it down a little. Now, programming languages or programs written in procedural languages, the most common kind are like recipes, having lists of ingredients, step-by-step instructions for using them. So we have control structures that sort of controls how the whole set of execution starts. Now let's picture the cookbook. With the cookbook, they start by giving a list of ingredients that you would need, and then they start giving the steps. But we can all see that they start by saying, put maybe a bowl, that's a metallic bowl, put a bowl on fire, add water inside, maybe cut this pepper, do this kind of stuff, blend this. Now it happens in a series format. So in programming too, we have this thing called control structures, and we have sequence control structures. That has to do with step by step. Now for a recipe, they will tell you step 1, boil the egg. Step 2, cut the onions. Step 3. So it has to be followed in sequence wise from top to bottom, moving left to right in each of the steps that you follow. So just as a human would do when cooking food, that is how the sequence control structures is like. And for those who are still into food, I'm using the extract from there. We have something we call conditional control structures. Now with that one, what happens is, if this thing happens, do this. You understand? So those who cook, especially those who prepare stew and those kind of stuff. They add the fish when the stew is almost about to be done. You understand? So when there is a change in color, mostly at first it is deep, it is light red because of the tin tomatoes and those kind of stuff. But after the heat is applied to the whole mixture, the stew's color changes. You understand? It goes a little to some brownish red kind of stuff. So it is around that time that they add the fish. You get me? So that is a condition. If this thing happens, do this. Then we have the last control structure, which is called the iterative control structure. When we say something is iterating, it means it is happening over and over and over again. So let me come back to this my stew. If something is happening over and over and over again, let's imagine cooking the stew and then adding some more ingredients. The moment you add even salt, you use your ladle to stir it, right? Now, the stirring of the stew's mixture is what we call the iteration. So you stir one, you stir again, you stir again. So from this diagram, we can see that the thing happens over and over and over again. But we can mix these kind of control structures that we've learned here. Which one? That is the sequence. The second one, which is conditional. The third one, which is iterative. We can mix all of them to get a good program or an algorithm. So we can say that while stirring, okay, while stirring, which is while the iterative structure is being implemented, if a condition happens, then do this. That is, carry out another instruction expressed in this sequence of statements. You get me? So basically, that is the introduction of this Learn to Program series. Okay. Please do not forget to subscribe, as the next session is going to be on the control structures. That's a detailed explanation of the control structures. Thank you.